Hello everyone. So tomorrow's quiz will be a two-part quiz. Part one will be on paper, like in a video, so you want to refer to your notes for part one. And part two will be on edge elastic. So here are the notes for the edge elastic part, which is part two. Alright, so up first, we've got negative 20 x to the 12 y to the ninth over 4 x to the third y. So we're going to divide negative 20 over 4 to get negative 5. Remember, that's regular numbers, so it's regular division. Okay, if you look what I'm writing down in the bottom corner. So regular numbers we divide, and now when we divide exponents, you have to subtract the exponents, because we're essentially canceling out 3 of the exponents on top. So we have 12 minus 3 is x to the 9, and y to the 9 over y. It's really y to the first, so it's going to be 9 minus 1 is y to the 8. Okay, so again, we divided the regular numbers, subtracted the exponents. Now here, number 2, we're going to multiply numbers to numbers. Negative 10 times 5 is negative 50. And then x, we're going to add our exponents here because we're multiplying, so it'd be 23. 20 plus 3 is 23. So again, add the exponents, multiply the numbers. Because there's not an exponent up like here. Here, when the exponent's up here, this is our power rule. So we're going to multiply these, okay, by the exponents. So if you notice, 4 stays 4. 3 times 1 is 4 to the third. X stays x. 3 times 10 is 30. And y stays y, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now, hold on a second. I'm going to jump in here real quick. This is the same problem. Okay, it's the same thing. I forgot to include that 4 to the third is really 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, so 4 to the third is really 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. X to the 30. Ooh, that's ugly. Y to the 15. Okay, so again, this is just what 4 to the third is equal to 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. So on the test, you may not see it as 4 to the third. You may see it as 64 or some other different number. Okay, it won't be 4, but same idea. Okay, so if you don't see this exponent, don't freak out. If you have a regular number, you want to go ahead and just do the exponent on the calculator or do it out here. So this is right. So this is 64. That's where that came from. And again, this is tit for tat. So like number 3 on the quiz will be like this one. Okay, number 2 like number 2. Number 1 will be like number 1. So here, number 4, we have x to the 0, negative 5x, 10 to the 0, all this to the 0. It's all 1. Anything to the 0 power, if you have 0 on the outside here, this will be equal to 1. Okay, if you had a 0 on the inside, just that part would be 1. Okay, number 5, 5x to the minus 10. Remember, this 10 is negative exponent, so we're going to have to move it. So 5 stays 5 on top, and then x to the 10th moves to the bottom. And that's it. All we're doing is moving the exponent with the 10. Okay, that moves on bottom. 5 as a positive exponent. Remember, that's really like a 1. So 5 stays on top. Okay, number 6, big ugly fraction. Okay, so when we see this big ugly fraction, we're going to notice that 3 is the same as 3 on top and on bottom, those whole numbers. Those whole numbers we can go ahead and just cancel. All right, 3 over 3 is 1, so we can cancel those 3's. Now let's rewrite it. We have x to the 5th over 2x to the 10th, x to the 7th. Okay, there's no negative exponents, so there's no moving. I'm going to combine what's on bottom. 10 and 7 is going to be x to the 17th, so we have x to the 5th over 2x to the 17th. And now we can subtract 17 minus 5 is x to the 12th on bottom. So we have 2x to the 12th on bottom. The top was blank, so now we got to put a 1. And that's it. Okay, this big ugly mess, it's not as bad as it looks. Okay, we're going to take our negative exponents and we're going to move them. Look at the color code. Right, this is negative, so a blue dot, blue dot, blue dot. Okay, those are the 3 negative exponents. So when I make my fraction bar, everything with a blue dot moves to the bottom. So x to the 8th is now on bottom. Y to the 6th is now on bottom. Y squared is now on bottom. And the top stays the same. So y to the 5th stays on top. In red, notice it's red, so it didn't change. 3 stays on top. X to the 10th stays on top. And x squared stays on top. Now we can combine some things on top, some things on bottom. I want to put my 3 first. I want to put my whole number out in front. So I'm going to put 3 first. Then I'm going to put my x terms next. It's getting organized. So that's x to the 12th. 10 plus 2 is 12. And then y to the 5th just stays y to the 5th. Now on bottom, x to the 8th is going to stay x to the 8th, right? There's no other x terms with it on bottom. So x to the 8th stays here. And y to the 6th and y to the 2nd is going to be y to the 8th on bottom. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now 3, nothing goes with it, so it's just 3 on top. X to the 12, 12 minus 8 is going to be 4. That'll go on top, 12 is bigger. And y to the 5 over y to the 8, 8 minus 5 is 3. 8's bigger, so 3 goes on bottom. Right, that's it. So you got 3x to the 4 over y to the 3rd. So we moved our negatives to the bottom, then we combined, then we did our quotient rule and subtracted. And finally, number 8. Okay, we're going to distribute this exponent, right, to each exponent. We're going to multiply the exponents here because it's our power rule. Remember, this 5 and this x is really to the first power. Don't leave those guys out. So we have 5 to the 3rd. X to the 3rd. Y to the 60. And remember, if you don't see 5 to the 3rd, you might have to multiply it out. So 5 to the 3rd is 5 times 5 times 5. Excuse me, which is 125. So this would be equal to 125 x3 y to the 60. All right, so that's it for today. Just copy the notes, and that will be it.